Good afternoon, everyone. I've been having a lot of fun recently with the Cheerful basket stamp set, which is from the annual catalogue. It comes as a bundle as well with some dies. But at the moment I've only got the stamp set, but I know I'm going to have to get the dies now as well. So that's the stamp set to show you. And here are some cards I've made already. So that's with the in colour 2022 to 2023 designer series paper. These are the fabulous frames. That's a large frame from that die set. And here's another one with apples, sending you happiness. This one is with retired designer series paper, Sweet Talk, and the hearts that go in the basket go really nicely with that. This is one, I can't resist that cat, but here's the craft items in the barrel or the basket, and that's the sending dies, and the card Say Hello is from the stamp set. And this is another one, sending you some happiness, where I've done the cat purple in the fresh freesia, and I've used I think it was polished pink, and then some gorgeous grape and some Highland heather as well, and then this one, which is with a parakeet party frame, and then all the craft items again. You fill my day with happiness. So today I've got some homemade apple cake and a cup of tea, so I thought that I would use the apples today. I've already stamped the cat. I'm using Memento ink because I'm going to colour with blends pens. So you always use Memento ink when you're colouring with blends pens. So those are the apples, and I'll just clean them off. And then I've got the barrel here, so I'm just going to turn this upside down to do the barrel. It's quite a large stamp, so you might decide you want to turn this stamp upside down, but in this case I've just done it like that. And then I'm just going to clean it off and then get those two stamps out of the way, and most important, put the top on the ink pad. So I'm going to get my silicone mat underneath, and I'm just going to cut this out. So I've got it ready, and then I've got the cat ready. I'll cut them out once I've actually coloured them. So Patty Bennett has a really good video about colouring these images. It's on YouTube. If you just look up Cheerful Basket Patty Bennett, you should be able to find it. So on my card this time, all the other cards I've had around, I just get this, it goes really well with the sending dies, as I've already said. I've had the other cards I've had that way round. Thought I'd just have a go at having it this way round this time. So before I start colouring, I might as well just stick the designer series paper to the sweet sorbet frame, which I've already cut out, using the Fabulous Frames dies, which has quite a good assortment of dies in the set, which is really good. So that's that, and then I take this and just put it on so that it's even. And then I can actually put that on the card as well. I do love Tombow because it's so easy to use and it sticks really well as well. So I'm going to put it on like this, even though I'm going to have the card landscape. So there we are. So that's my card base, and I decided that I'm going to put sending. So this is from the sending dies, and I've got the little dot for the eye here on a block ready to stick on using my Take Your Pick tool. And I did have this, a note of thanks, so it'll be sending a note of thanks. So I'm hoping I'll be able to fit the basket here, but let's just colour in the basket and go from there. So actually I'm going to do the apples first. So I'm going to use the sweet sorbet, and I'm going to use the parakeet party for the apples. So I'm going to do the leaves first in the dark granny apple green blends pen, because I don't want to take too long this video, because I don't like boring people by going on for too long, and there's a little leaf there that I could very easily have left out. And then I'm going to take the light parakeet party, and I'm just going to colour the pieces where I don't have the extra lines there, so just a general colouring like this, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a moment. And it doesn't matter if I go down here, because that's going to be underneath the basket anyway. So I'm going to cover up like this. So this is quite a quick one to colour. And then I'm going to take the light sweet sorbet, and I'm just going to, because I have got 2 apple trees in my garden, and some of the apples are green and red on the same apple. So rather than a Granny Smith apple, I should say, which is just green, these apples are actually, they really are green and red. So I'm just going to do like that. Then I'm going to take the darker one and just bring it in a little bit like that. A little bit of dark, and then you'll see in a moment I'll go with the lighter Granny apple green as well. Just to bring a bit of darker, and then I'm going to use this time the bullet tip, because I want to go around in circles to just blend that in. And there might be a little bit, hopefully, of shading between the darker Granny apple green and the lighter one. If it's not enough shading, I know roughly, say the light is coming from this direction, we do have a white marker which takes some of the colour away. So if I just do that, it does take a few seconds to dry for you to see the effect that it has. And you may not see it on the camera, but it just gives a little bit of shading. You might just see it there, I'm not sure. Now we come on to the cat. So the cat I'm actually going to do in dark and light grey granite. So I'm just going to go over first of all with the light. And again, quick and easy card. It's a sort of stamp set you could just grab to do a quick card that you want to do to a friend. I'm going to leave the cat with a white chest. And then I'm just going to come in now with the dark grey granite for the pieces that are marked here, just to give a little bit of extra interest. It's nice to have a variety of colours and a bit of shading sometimes. Just do that, a little bit over the paws, a little bit over the face. I don't have a cat, so I'm not quite sure how they look, but I'm just going to blend a little bit in here, and I think he looks okay. I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's my cat, and now I'm going to do my basket. Now, Patty Bennett had some very good tips. I'm just going to check the colour. That's a bit dark, that one. I want a lighter colour. That's better. Okay, so to make the basket look round, you need to have it light in the middle. So this bit needs to be light. So this colour is light petal pink. Then I'm going to actually use crumb cake. So this piece, she said, just do a bit of scribbling like that, because you want some white bits on it as well. And then this, I'm going to come all the way in, but keeping the outside, the inside, just to have the pale on the inside there. You'll see what I'm up to in a moment. Okay, so that's that, and then I take the dark crumb cake and do that, and then this I'm just going to do to halfway down like that. And then she put an extra layer in there. So when I've done that, I'm just going to go over once again. What's this one? This is light crumb cake, so I'm just going to go over again there, so it just blends in a bit better. And then I might want to just go over again with this one, because I wanted it a little bit. I still want that to be lighter in the middle, but I want it to blend a little bit. So now I need to take a darker colour. So I'm taking one of the skin tone colours, SU200. This is from the 2 darkest tones. I've actually realised I've only got 4 of the skin tone colours. And as far as I realise, I think there's 10 altogether. So I'm going to order on my next order the rest, because thanks, Patty, you sold them to me. I realised that I could get a lot more variety in browns and wood grain effects if I got some other browns as well. So I thought I'd just go for gold and get the colours I haven't got, which is 6 that I haven't got because I've got 4, and 4 and 6 make 10. So there we go. So there's that, and then I'm going to take the light and just go down again so that it blends in a little bit more, but just roughly so that it's not too precise. Really until you're happy with it. Might do a little bit more there. So, and then I'm going to do the handle probably in this dark colour. And there's my basket. Now, as I said, I'm going to get the dies because I've used this so much. I realised if I had the dies, I could just stamp loads of baskets and just cut them out with a die. And the same with the cat. And there are some separate basket dies which you can make baskets just with the dies without the stamp set, which is really good. And it's also got some foliage. I might just grab the catalogue actually and show you what, because it's the more I looked at the dies, the more I realised that I probably wanted to get them. So if I show you, actually probably easier to show you if I find the bundle, and I know it, here it is. So you can see here that you can cut out the cat, and you could use this sort of cupcake base as well if you wanted to, but you've got the handkerchief, you've got some foliage, you've got the little apples, you've got hearts, you've got leaves, and you cut out your handle, and you also cut out the stamped images as well. But also obviously it comes in a bundle. So I think, yes, I'm going to have to get the dies after all. I need a little bit of pink for the ear here, just before I forget. So that's good, I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going to cut out the cat, which, as you can see, is easy to cut out. I just do the fussy cutting. So these are our paper snips. Now I've had this pair of paper snips for 10 years because I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator 10 years this October. So, and they're still sharp. I have got another pair that I use for ribbon, and I've got a pair that I got at an on-stage event, which is still, they're still in the box. They're really nice. So I'm leaving that rough edge, and you'll see why, because of sticking it underneath the basket. Now, out of all the pieces that you have to cut out, this is probably the most fiddly, going around the leaves and so on. But if you turn the cardstock with the scissors, then it's far easier to cut out, as you can see. So I'm just careful around here that I don't cut the leaf off. Cut around that again, and I'm not going to go too far in just in case I do cut the leaf off. Then I'm going to take some Tombow and just put it here. Haven't even had a bite of my cake yet. So it's always good to do anything to do with glue on the silicone mat. So there we go. So I'm going to have a bite of my delicious apple cake. Yum. Must remember to have some tea as well. So here's the card. Whoops, that's a Scotty dog from somewhere else. Here's my mat that I'll just stick it together with. So I'm going to put these two aside and make sure that I can fit them on. Now, recently, I bought the embossing set with the embossing tray, the buddy, not the powders. It doesn't come with a Versamark. It comes with a brush and a pair of tweezers. These tweezers are fantastic for embossing, for when you're holding card over the tray when you're putting the embossing powder on, but also fantastic for picking up pieces that you need to glue. So, and positioning, you know how good it is, you know, trying to position things and so on. So I can see, is this going to fit? This is the question. So I'm just going to put that down there. And I think that it will fit. Just, yep. So I'm going to glue the basket on. Make sure I get those leaves with a little bit of glue on them. I'm going to put that over there. I'm not going to stick that bit down yet, but what I'm going to do is just pick that up like that, turn it over, and it really keeps it steady while I apply the glue to the back, as you can see here. I could have used the fine tip glue pen, which is also very good. And then I can just position it where I want it. Like that. And then the other piece I want, so this is where I need my take your pick tool. I know I want to put the top of the eye there, so I take my take your pick tool, and I just pick up that little dot like that. I don't want so much glue, and the rest of that glue will come off. There we go. That will dry clear, so it's fine. And those are the fantastic tweezers. That's so good. Just make sure I don't get glue on them. So make sure you clean them off with isoprenyl alcohol to make sure they don't get sticky. So I'll just put those back in the right place. Now I'm going to use some dimensionals for the cat. So I use mini dimensionals for the cat. One there, and one there. I think that'll be enough, I hope. Whoops, make sure I get those three off. I've got to decide where I want the cat, and I think I want the cat there. And then the note of thanks, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. 1, 2, 3. So I just love these fun, cheery, bright colours with this set. Just I think makes a big difference. And that sending a note of thanks. There we go. So now the last thing, just to finish it off, if I can find them, are these 2022-2024 in colour matte decorative dots. So once again, I need my take your pick tool, and I'm going to stick to the red or the green. So I think I'll put a green one up here, and I think I'll put little red ones, one there and one down there perhaps. Yeah, like that, that's okay. So just to finish it off really, in fact I've got through quite a few of those, in fact I'll need a new one soon I think. There we go. So the other thing that I could add is a little bit of wink of Stella, particularly over the part of the apple that I think would be shining with some sunlight on it, and perhaps this part of the basket that might shine if it had a bit of sunlight on it. Okay, so there you go. So there's the card I've just made with a Cheerful basket set. There's a portrait one with the craft items. There's another one with a cat but with the hearts, with the cat and the craft items, the hearts on their own without any cat, the apples on their own without any cat, and again, and I've used some of the designer series paper to make a little handkerchief to go over the basket. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video and that you're inspired to perhaps think about getting this lovely set, which has sending you some get well cheer, but you can use sending happiness or sending you some happiness. You fill my day with happiness or inspired by you. So it's got a few good sentiment stamp sets on there as well. So thanks for watching. Bye.